Selenium class 24, writing test cases part 2. Writing Selenium WebDriver test cases part 2. See, writing Selenium WebDriver test cases. Say Selenium IDE test case syntax is different. Selenium IDE test case syntax different. Okay. Say today we will concentrate on positive and negative test cases. Say and remember one point, automated test case scope is unlimited. Manual test case scope is limited. Why? Human user can concentrate on one or two verification points only, but automated test case can concentrate on multiple verification points. You can insert n number of verification points and you can perform n number of iterations. Automated test case is program, software program. It can concentrate, but manual test case scope is limited. Why? User has to execute manual test cases. Human user can concentrate on one or two verification points at a time only. If it is automated test case, that automated test case is software program, it can concentrate on multiple verification points. See, final conclusion, automated test case scope is very high than manual test case. Okay. Here no restrictions, no limitations. See, yesterday we discussed 5 test cases. 5 are unique test cases. Next, number 6. Tusharaman, did you follow this concept? Manual, in case of scope, manual test case versus automated test case.
Yes, sir.
Which one is having higher scope? Manual test case or automated test case?
Automated test cases.
Okay. See. 6. Concentrate Rahman test case. Check admin login functionality in GCR shop web portal. Already all of you familiar with that web portal. Portal means a business gateway. See, check admin login functionality in GCR shop web portal. See, we are going to use valid inputs for this test case. So it is positive test case. Positive test case. Why? We are going to use valid inputs. For negative testing, we use invalid inputs. Okay. Next, 7. Check error message in admin login functionality. Suppose if login fails, what will happen? How the application handles user unauthorized operations, invalid inputs. See, check. See, it has to accept valid inputs and prevent invalid inputs. See, check error message in admin login functionality. admin login functionality. Next, this is negative test case. We are going to use invalid inputs. Negative test case. See, scenario same. Login, admin login. Next, positive and negative. See, you combine the first two test cases. Combine. See, check login functionality, admin login. Check here user login also there in user interface. Check admin login functionality with valid and invalid inputs. With valid and invalid inputs. This is positive and negative testing. Positive and negative. Srivalli, did you understand my requirements?
Yes, sir.
Okay. First, take first case. What is the first case? Just a minute. You guide me, Srivalli. First case, check admin login functionality. First, I will explain the test steps.
Okay.
Then guide me. First, launch the browser. Launch the browser. Next, navigate to GCR shop admin interface. Admin interface. See, what is the admin interface URL? Just a minute. This one. Up to this one enough. Admin interface. Next, enter valid. Observe positive test case na. Enter valid username. Valid username. Next, enter valid password. Valid password. Next, click default button. Here default button is, what is the default button?
Login.
Login. Just a minute. Default button is login. Click login button. This is the navigation. After login, you can get that admin page. Verification point. Verification point. Capture the URL. Capture the URL and compare with expected. Here what is the expected? Just a minute. Expected URL. Just login admin at 123. Click login. See, this is index page. Index. Next, actual after execution. Next, test data. Test data. Username equal to admin string type data. Next, password equal to admin at 123. Okay, steps ready and other details also ready. Verification point expected, etc. Next, Selenium test case. Selenium test case. Just a minute. Guide me, Srivalli. Guide me. Launch Eclipse IDE. I already created the class.
Okay. Create WebDriver.
Create WebDriver. Not create WebDriver. Create driver object.
Driver object.
Create driver object. WebDriver driver equal to new
Firefox driver.
Firefox driver. You can create other browser drivers also. Firefox driver single word semicolon. See, import. Okay, first step over. Second step, launch the navigate to admin interface.
Driver.get.
Driver.get within double quotes destination URL. What is that URL? This one. URL. Second step over. Next, operate the elements. First, enter a value into username box. Valid input is admin. Driver
find element.
Driver dot find element. Suppose by dot
ID.
Just a minute. You first take that one. Show the username. ID not available. Name username small letters. Password also password small letters. Name locator. Next, login button. ID available. TDB1. Just remember, by dot name of name value username small letters. Dot just a minute. Import this by class. Import by dot send keys method. Enter the value admin. Okay, next, second one. Driver dot find element by dot name of password value password dot send keys admin at 123. This is the valid password. Next, driver dot find element by dot ID of ID value. What is that ID value? TDB1. Good. Dot click operation. Click. Okay. Next, capture the URL after login click. Capture the URL. URL is string type data. Take string variable string. Suppose URL, you can use any meaningful name equal to
driver dot
get
get current
current
URL.
URL semicolon. Okay. Next, write the condition if
URI
URL is string. String is object in Java. You can apply methods, built-in methods, dot
contains
contains or equals. Which one is perfect one? Equals is exact match.
contains
Contains
is better option.
equals is better option. Contains
In this,
it finds substring. Sometimes
yeah,
we use contains also, but you try to use equals, exact match.
okay.
Suppose
But
if you face
here,
any problem, then use contains.
okay,
Expected. If you find any problem, then use contains. Sometimes it generates dynamic URL. That time you can use contains. Open curly braces. Next, any meaningful message. Suppose control space and just a minute. See, admin login successful passed. Close the curly braces. Else next
system dot
admin login
unsuccessful.
Login, just a minute, unsuccessful, status of result failed. Okay. Next, after this condition, close the browser. Driver dot close. Okay. Run the program. Run the test case. Problem happened. Try to observe the problem. Did you observe the problem, Kamala?
Antivirus.
Antivirus element is populating on login button. That's why it is not able to click the login button. Disable that one. Just a minute. Now run the program. Observe Kamala. Output. What is the output?
Admin login successful.
Admin login successful. Passed.
Pass.
Suppose if we use invalid input, what will happen?
I think we have to use the exception.
Not required. Here we are not checking the element.
Okay.
The exception for checking element existence. Here only URL not required. See,
admin login
it will execute else part, Madhavi.
Oh, okay.
It will execute else part.
Thank
you. Else part.
Not there.
Just a minute. Why it is showing this one?
In the URI you have.
I mistakenly I used the incorrect one. See, username. Just a minute. Run the program. Admin login. This time admin login unsuccessful. Okay na, Kamala?
Sir.
Just a minute. Suppose inputs okay, valid inputs only. Suppose expected value incorrect. expected value. Suppose instead of index some login. This time also it will execute else part.
Okay.
If it is incorrect expected or invalid inputs,
Login unsuccessful.
unsuccessful only. Okay na? Unsuccessful na?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Welcome. Now, what is that one? Index. Just a minute. Expected is correct. Inputs also valid. This time expected result is admin login successful passed. Run. Over. Okay na? Okay na, Rahman? Test case executing for negative also na? Negative scenario.
Yes, sir.
See. Just a minute. Next, negative test case. Same scenario. Admin login functionality. This time negative test case. Means use invalid inputs. Invalid inputs. Madhavi, guide me. First, I will explain test steps. Test steps. First one, as usual, launch the browser, navigate to so and so URL. Next.
Enter invalid username.
Yes, enter, observe, enter invalid username and RR. Just a minute. And RR password. What is the meaning of this step? You can use username and password both invalid, or username only invalid, or password only invalid. Got the point, Kamala?
Either username
or password or both.
Or both.
See, username and RR. Okay. Next. Click login button. Click login button. See, definitely you can expect error. Why? We are using invalid input. See, verification. Verification point. See, capture the error message. Capture the error message and compare with expected. Okay. Here expected error message. Just a minute. This is expected.
While capturing this error message, we have to capture the symbol also, sir?
Symbol not required. You can compare using contains method. You can compare with contains method na.
Okay, no, just I am asking real time. We have to compare that one also.
You can't compare that symbol. How can you compare that symbol? Complex.
That's why we wanna.
Can you capture that symbol?
I couldn't do it.
Try. See, now I selected symbol also. Capturing?
No, sir.
Not capturing. So next, a better way, you use this value just contains method also there now.
Yes, sir.
You go for contains test data, username, suppose admin A invalid, password suppose admin at 123. Okay. Okay. Next, Selenium test case. Selenium test case. Guide me, Madhavi.
Create a driver object.
Driver, okay. Next, launching, navigate to build 3 admin, okay.
Yeah,
Enter
admin.
invalid one, admin A, password, then click. Next,
And capture the message.
capture the message. Message is string type data, na?
Yes.
Suppose string,
Message.
error message, any meaningful variable name you can use, equal to driver dot find element by dot, just a minute. Show that one. Class name available na? Otherwise, you can use XPath. You try with class name. Class name.
Message.
Otherwise, use XPath. Class name of value. Message stack error. Dot. What is the method?
Get text.
Get text. Get text. Semicolon. Next, write the condition. Condition.
If
If
error message.
Error message. Just a minute. If error message dot contains of, you take that value, next.
System.println.
Okay. See, sys, just a minute. Any meaningful message? This time it is handling invalid inputs. See, handling invalid inputs. Okay, put mute, Madhavi, some disturbance coming. Handling invalid inputs. If it handle invalid inputs, then passed. Suppose not handling, failed. Else for example, not handling, invalid inputs. Failed. Observe Kamala. Kamala. Run.
Invalid.
Handling invalid inputs na?
Yes, sir. Passed.
Passed. Okay.
So
Next,
negative case also successful.
suppose if it is valid input, run the program. Error.
Error, sir.
What is the problem? Try to identify. No such element exception.
Catch.
Observe, if it is valid input, you won't get that error message na.
Yes, sir.
This is another page. In this page, no error message. That's why it is not able to capture that message. It is trying to capture that message. That message not available, element not available. That's why it is showing error. Error. So here exception is required. Exception. Without exception handling, using condition also you can handle this error. Using condition. Guide me how to handle this error. How to handle this error. Can you guide me, Preeti? Krishna Chait. Preeti, continue. Did you understand the problem?
Yes, sir.
Suppose if it is invalid input, you can get that error message. It is capturing that error message and comparing. Okay. But if it is if login successful, no error message. If you try to capture that error message, no such element error exception. How to handle this situation?
So can we use the try catch?
Try catch not required. Using condition, you can avoid this error. Using condition. Okay, you put mute. Krishna Chaitanya can guide it.
If error message is not displayed,
Observe, not displayed. Forget about that. Observe Krishna Chaitanya. What is this URL?
login.php.
Login.php. In this login.php only this error message. Suppose if login successful, just a minute. Another URL na?
Yes, sir.
Index.php. See, based on this URL, you can write condition. Based on this URL. Otherwise, you can write negative condition also. Suppose this is login na? After login, after valid input. Before verification, you just capture the URL. Capture the URL. String
variable name
URL equal to driver dot get current URL semicolon. Next, write one condition. If negative operation.
not
Otherwise, you can use positive also. If
exclamatory mark
just a minute. Otherwise, first URL, you write positive condition only. Prefer positive condition, otherwise negative condition. Okay, first positive, try positive. If URL dot contains
That URL.
first URL login, next URL index contains this one, then
Capture this error message.
capture the string. So, if so and so URL is there, login URL is there, capture, otherwise don't capture. Next,
Else.
yeah, no, not else. Just a minute. Get text okay. Again, if error message contains, okay, already there na. If error message contains so and so, handle valid inputs. Here one more close. Okay na.
Yes, sir.
Next else part this one. You try this one. Observe the condition, Preeti. Try to understand this condition. Suppose if URL is, see in this URL login.php only, you can get error message. Suppose if URL equal to login.php, then capture, otherwise don't capture. One way condition. This is one way condition. Nested for one way condition. If so and so URL is there, then capture the error message. Next, compare the error message and show the output. Else, other than above, else not handling. Okay. Now, first valid inputs on first invalid inputs. Invalid inputs. Run the program. Handling invalid inputs na Preeti.
Sir.
Handling invalid inputs. It is negative test case. Next, try to use valid inputs. Now, what is the expected? What is the expected?
Not
Handling.
having invalid inputs.
Huh?
It will show error message.
No. Observe Krishna Chaitanya. What is the expected output?
Not handling invalid
Not handling.
inputs.
We are going to use valid inputs. Just run the program. This is valid.
Message.
It's not correct message, Madhavi, but handling this time not showing no such element exception. Here meaningful message is there. Valid inputs. Where we insert that
So I
statement.
think it's correct meshes.
Pardon?
This is correct meshes because we are not handling any invalid inputs.
Okay, you can take that one. Otherwise, you can write another one. Okay, it is okay. Observe. Now this time only valid inputs. Next, invalid inputs, it can handle. No error. Invalid inputs. Handling invalid inputs. handling invalid inputs. Next, here one assignment I will give. Observe, Madhvi. Madhavi, assignment.
Yes.
That day you asked, na? You take that assignment. Assignment to all of you. Say, verify maximum login attempts. Verify maximum. Verify the maximum login attempts. Observe, Kamala, maximum login attempts only for invalid input, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Suppose if it is valid input, you can log in n number of times.
Yeah.
No issue, isn't it?
No issue. Yes, sir.
For invalid inputs only, maximum attempts limit in order to restrict the user.
Yeah.
Okay. Verify the maximum login.
Login.
This is only
Invalid login attempts.
for invalid input only. Okay. Here business rule is it accepts 3 attempts. After 3 attempts, it blocks the login functionality for 5 minutes. Say. Verification. After 3 attempts, it blocks the login functionality for 5 minutes. You can capture that message and compare. Observe. Say, invalid administrator login attempt. Once again, invalid. Once again, already we used invalid first time. 3 attempts over. Here observe, Kamala. It is showing now.
The maximum number of login attempts has been reached. Please try find.
Again in 5 minutes. Suppose I am going to use valid only. Suppose admin at 1, 2, 3 valid only, but it won't accept. Admin functionality blocked. Run.
Yeah. Temporary blocker.
Temporary. See, same message. After 5 minutes only, you can access. Suppose you try in another browser. Suppose Chrome browser. Valid inputs. Admin at 1, 2, 3. Click login. Accepting?
Sir.
No. You write test case for that scenario. Next, third one. This time Rahman has to guide me. Rahman, third one, positive and negative mix. And one more thing, here 2 iterations required for this test case. 2 iterations. If you want to perform multiple iterations, resource is required. Test data file is resource in this scenario. Without test data file also, you can conduct multiple iterations using loop structure, but this is only for small amount of data only. Suppose if it is 2 iterations or 3 iterations, you can depend on loop structure. But if it is 20 records, 50 records or 100 records, resource mandatory. Here resource means test data file. Okay, in this test case, I'm going to perform multiple iterations using multiple sets of test data without test data file, only using loop structure. Okay, only 2 sets of data, that's why I'm going to depend on loop structure. 2 or 3 sets, you can use this syntax. If it is multiple sets of test data, resource required, data driven testing, resource required. Okay, first I will explain steps. Did you understand this requirement? Rahman, check admin functionality with
positive and negative test data.
Valid and invalid inputs. Valid and invalid inputs. Okay, that is comes under positive and negative testing. First I will explain test steps. Test steps. First one, as usual, launch the browser and navigate to so and so URL. Just a minute. First 2 steps common. Next, enter valid input, enter valid username, enter valid username. Next, enter invalid, enter valid only. Enter valid password. Next, click a default button. Here default button is login button. Okay. This is one iteration. Next, repeat the navigation with invalid username and password. See, repeat the navigation. Repeat the navigation with invalid username and or password. Okay. Next, here 2 verifications. One verification for positive, another verification for negative testing. Verification points. First one, capture the URL and compare with expected after valid input. Capture the URL and compare with expected. This is first verification. Here expected. What is the expected? Just a minute. We already used that one. Index. Where is that one? This one. Index page. Next, test data for this iteration. Username. Admin. Password. Admin at 123. See, both are valid. Next, second verification. Tell me, Rahman, what is second verification? If login unsuccessful, capture error message na?
Capture error message and compare with expected.
Good. See. Capture the error message and compare with expected. Here, what is the expected value? Expected equal to just a minute. We already used that one. Na? Expected. This is. Next, test data. Suppose username admin A invalid. Next, password. Suppose admin at 123 A. This one also invalid. Okay.
What if the test data is blank and if we click on login, does it come under invalid?
Pardon?
What if the test data like username and password are blank and if we click on login, does it come under invalid?
Just a minute. Repeat once again.
If we give username as blank space without typing any value?
Yes, that is also invalid.
Okay.
Invalid, but no data na. So blank username. Username blank. Suppose password blank. So many scenarios are there. I am taking one negative scenario. Why here we are not using any resource. Only depending on a loop structure. That's why only one negative scenario. Positive always one scenario. Negative multiple scenarios. But here I am taking one negative scenario, not all negative scenarios. Okay na?
Okay. And if in real world, how to get all the negative invalid?
All negative scenarios you can use multiple iterations. That we will discuss later. Say you prepare test data in a Excel file. Okay. You read the data, perform 10 iterations or 5 iterations. First iteration valid input, second iteration invalid username, third iteration invalid password, fourth iteration username and password both are invalid, fifth iteration username blank, sixth iteration password blank, seventh iteration both are blank. Like you can perform. That comes under data driven testing.
Okay, sir.
Here I am taking only one negative scenario. See, you take any test scenario, you will have one positive scenario and multiple negative scenarios, isn't it? Respond quickly, say yes or no.
Yes, sir.
One positive scenario for any test scenario. Multiple negative scenarios, multiple. Here I am taking one negative scenario. What is that negative scenario? Username and password both are invalid. Just a minute. Other negative scenarios. Positive always one, only one for any scenario, but negative scenarios multiple. Other negative scenarios for this functionality. Other negative scenarios. What are the other? Username. Just a minute. Valid username and invalid
password.
Invalid password. This is one scenario. We are using invalid
username and
password. Both invalid username and invalid password. Invalid password. I am taking that main scenario. All are main only. Okay. Next, other scenarios. Valid username, invalid password. Next, invalid username,
valid password,
and valid password. Valid password. Next,
blank username.
Yes, username blank. Blank username and valid password or invalid password.
It can be 9 different negative scenarios.
Valid or invalid. No difference. And you can try both. Next.
Blank password.
Valid username. Valid or invalid. Any data. Valid or invalid username.
Blank password.
And blank password. Blank password. Next, blank username, and blank password. Blank password. Okay, na Krishna Chaitanya? Any other scenarios?
If we know that for valid username like admin, we know that only one login information that is valid, but in real life there will be many valid IDs.
If you don't know the valid data, then you are not able to test the application. You must know the valid inputs, otherwise you can't test, isn't it? Sometimes we only create login we only create login. Sometimes developers provide login details. Suppose this is the admin interface now. Usually developers provide admin interface login details. If it is user interface, you can register to the application and use that valid inputs. If you don't know the valid inputs, you can't test. Getting this point?
Okay, sir.
If you don't know the valid input, then how can you test login functionality or any other functionality? Tell me first. How, if user doesn't know the valid inputs and invalid inputs, how system will guide you?
Valid means it's any alphabets. It's a combination of any alphabets.
Not any alphabets. Valid means we created this username and password. Usually developers create admin users create user interface user. If you don't know the valid input, then you are not able to test the application. How can you test? Tell me. If you don't know the valid input, then how can you find correct output, correct input?
Yeah.
Okay, your question is not valid. See, user or tester must know the valid input. Sometimes we only create users. Sometimes developer create users. Just a minute. See, in real world, web applications have two interfaces. Admin interface for maintaining the application, user interface for customers or clients. Observe, this is admin interface. Generally, this admin interface user details developers provide. Next, user interface. Here, just a minute. Here, these login details, Krishna Chaitanya.
User provide.
You can create a user na. Facility is there na. You can create user and use that one. Suppose yesterday we created na.
Yes, sir.
Yesterday we created one user and login also. We conducted login functionality also.
Yeah, in that we have email address.
Email address
There
and
you
password. See, in this one, just a minute.
There you said like validating that email.
Just a minute.
Something.
Forget about that field validation. Here we are using password confirmation fields na. This is password. Next, here we are using email address na.
Yes, sir.
This is email. See, after successful registration, then we can use that email and password. That the data is valid input. Then what is the problem?
That data will be sent to the administrator and
No,
they have the test
we only create, testers only create this data. In admin interface, here no registration facility na.
Developers will
Developers provide admin login details. Here no registration facility. Suppose in this application any registration facility is there, then you can create. Depends on application. Hello?
Yes, sir. Okay.
Any confusion?
Yeah, one more doubt. Like if we go to that login page, user login.
User login.
Where all the fields.
This is user login.
One more, create new customer.
That is registration page.
Yeah, registration page.
Create account. Create an account.
In this, if I want to check particular field like email address
yes,
field.
that is field level validation. What I told yesterday, just first we are focusing on form level validation, then field level. Field level we will discuss later. Field level validation. Fields depends on business rules. Say here two types of validations for input fields. One is field level, another is form level. After entering all mandatory fields, it has to submit. That is form level. Next, checking each field. That is field level.
Okay.
We didn't concentrate on that field level validation. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome. See. Now test. What is that one? Steps, test steps, and verification points, test data, everything ready. Now Rahman, guide me. In this test case,
Yes, sir.
we are going to concentrate on positive and negative testing. Okay. Create some static variables. Suppose static int I. This is for iterations. Next, static username. Oh, type string type. String username password. Suppose iteration. Positive and negative testing. Okay, I created two static variables, four static variables. One is integer, remaining three are strings.
String.
Next, as usual, create driver object. Okay, create driver object. Next, here loop. We have two iterations now.
Yes, sir.
Two
Valid and
iterations.
invalid.
So loop required. We are not going to use any test data file. In the script only we provide valid and invalid inputs both.
So for
I equal to 1. Observe Krishna Chaitanya, single equal to or double equal to?
Single.
Single only. Next, I less than or equal to how many iterations? 2. One positive and one negative. Next, I plus plus. Increment. Okay. Loop structure. I opened the loop structure. You close this for loop at the end. End where? After driver close or before driver close? Before driver close. Driver close statement, end one. Here. Okay. For loop. Next, within this for, condition required na? Condition. If I equal to, say in first scenario, this equal to what type of operator? Assignment type. In this if one equals I equal to 1, open curly braces. Right. Say suppose username equal to admin string type data. Next, password equal to admin at 123. Next, iteration. It is optional. First two only mandatory. Iteration equal to iteration 1. Okay. First if I equal to 1. Next, else if. Say if you write else part, what will happen? In else, you can't use condition na. Here for second iteration also condition required. In else part, no condition. So
no condition.
Else if we use else if, you can write condition. Else if I got
double equal to 2.
open curly braces.
Curly braces.
Next, same. You take this one. This time try to use invalid. Suppose admin A, invalid username, 123A, invalid password. Iteration 2. Okay. Next, main script. Test script is there. Driver dot get find element up to click. If you want to observe the data, use wait. Optional. It is only for observing the test data. Okay. Next, after click, capture the URL. After click, for first input valid na. Capture the URL. Next, condition. If URL contains what is that one? Index page na.
Index page.
Not login page. Index page. Take that first expected. First expected. First expected. Where? Here. Login page.
Write a meaningful message.
Then
write a meaningful message.
Write meaningful message. Suppose just a minute.
We don't need this line. We need maybe.
Suppose
login successful.
Just a minute. Iteration plus input data. Just optional, but they increase the clarity of result. Input data. We are going to display the input data also. Input data. Plus username. Single word na. Username plus some blank space, otherwise use comma. Optional. Plus, this is concatenation operator. Password. Next, close parenthesis. Next, write the message. Plus admin login successful. Admin login successful. For example, passed. Okay. This is meaningful message. Next, suppose if URL not equals, here else if structure na in this verification. One more expected also there na.
On 34th line, it is showing still error.
Just a minute. 34th line. Just a minute. What is the problem? Just a minute.
Near password, we need to put plus outside of the quotations.
Just a minute. Username, password, then plus.
We don't need to use the parentheses there.
No need. No need. Okay, pretty good. Next, Rahman, continue. Multiple verifications in the structure. Use else if structure. Else if
URL.
Else. Just a minute. After login, you need to log out, isn't it? Why log out, Madhavi? Next iteration invalid input na.
Yes, sir.
Find element by dot. Suppose link text.
Text.
What is that one? Log off. You can check later. Dot click. Okay. Next, if else if URL not contains index. Rahman, else if what is the condition here?
URL
Not contains na. Suppose if login successful, you won't get error message, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
If not, negative condition. What is the negation symbol?
Exclamation.
If not, URL dot contains this value.
Expected URL.
Index page. Then, if not that URL, this URL means login successful. If login successful, you can't get error message. So if not that index URL, then capture error message. Otherwise, don't capture. String
error message. You already have
already there. Just a minute. Just replace, change the position. Okay. Now string error message. Why it is showing error? Observe, Rahman, why it is showing error?
Open the parentheses, sir. Curly braces.
Where?
For if. 37.
Yes.
Curly braces.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Close curly braces.
After 35 also you need to close curly braces.
Where? After 35?
Line 35. We need to close curly braces.
After 35. Yes. Before else.
Okay.
Still it is showing. Okay. We'll remove one by one. Else if we are capturing string. In this else only, write condition. In this else if, one more condition. If not, so and so URL contains, if not so and so URL, then capture error message. After capturing, compare. See, try to understand the complex test case. Compare. Now all errors removed na. Observe, Preeti, try to understand this logic. Here else if not URL contains, then capture. If URL contains this one, index.php means login successful. If login successful, you can't get error message. That's why I'm using this condition, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
If Continue, Rahman. Invalid administrator attempt. If then meaningful message na.
Correct message.
Okay. Here same. You take that first one. Where is that one?
Iteration.
Here. Iteration okay. Input data, username, password, handling invalid inputs. Handling invalid inputs. Handling invalid inputs. Pass or fail, Tushar? Status of result.
Should be pass.
Passed only. Okay. Next. Else. This one not
Else
required.
invalid data.
Else. I think this else not you remove this else. Else other than above. Iteration. Just a minute.
Method fail.
This will repeat 2 times. If 2 times fail, it will return 2 times failed. Iteration plus suppose message. Just a minute. Failed. At the end, close. At the end, close. Oh, this is misplacement now. Driver dot close before 2 curly braces only. Next, observe one more curly braces is required here.
After else.
After else. So
After 43.
Before this one. Observe any error. Observe Preeti.
Sir,
First,
in find by element section, we have to pass the variable names, right? Username, password.
Yes. You have to pass parameters instead of fixed values. Yes.
Send key.
Just first, I'm explaining this logic. Then we will pass parameters instead of constant values. Observe this for loop. Where is the closing of this for loop?
Before
Rahman.
driver dot close.
Before driver dot close. Okay na? Next, this is condition. Condition na?
Yes, sir.
Means verification points. See, in this block, we inserted 2 verification points using else if structure. Next, this is main up to this one. Okay. Now pass parameters instead of constant values.
Username, password. Username.
What is that one? Username. Don't use double quotes for variables.
Because variable.
Password. Okay. Try to run this one. Just a minute. Log off. After log off, just not required. Safe side. Suppose 2 seconds. Observe Kamala, run the program. First, launching valid inputs. Here 3 minutes wait is there. Login successful. Next, invalid inputs, admin A. Observe.
Okay.
Observe Kamala. Iteration 1. Input data admin 1 2 3. What is the output? Admin login successful passed. Iteration 2. Admin A, admin 1 2 3 A. Handling invalid inputs also passed. First one positive scenario. First iteration positive scenario. Second iteration negative scenario. For these two, other than above, else part is there, but here two verifications passed. Otherwise, it will show failed. Okay, na Tushar Amin? Any confusion?
No, sir.
Srivalli?
No, sir. I am good.
Okay, cool. Madhavi?
No, sir.
Okay, cool. See. Here we declared static variables also. See Selenium test case.
So what is the use we put here, the else part, the system dot out dot print line, the 44 line here. What is the use of that one?
Suppose if first iteration, valid inputs na.
Yes.
If login unsuccessful, then it will go to this failed status. In second iteration also we are using invalid inputs. Suppose for invalid inputs successful login, then it will go to failed part failed only, isn't it?
Yes.
Say you are using valid inputs. Instead of login, it is showing error message. Is it correct? Not correct. Suppose you are using valid inputs. Instead of login successful, error message. That time it will go to failed, else part. Suppose second verification, we are using invalid inputs. For invalid inputs, suppose login successful. That time also failed na. Login successful, but our scenario failed na.
Yes.
See this else part for both positive and negative scenario, other than above. Okay na?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay. Say and this one. Who are there? Just a minute. Sri Lakshmi not responding. Tushar. Okay. Tushar, I mean, you guide me one small test case. Just a minute. Small test case. This test case not related to application, but applications involvement also there. But this test case will check capabilities of WebDriver. Okay. See, test case. Check communication between different browsers. See. Check communication between different browsers. Observe Tushar, earlier we handled multiple browsers using a window handle and window handles. That is same browsers. Same browsers means Mozilla Firefox, 2 browsers or 3 browsers, same Mozilla browsers or Chrome browsers or Internet Explorer browsers. This time different browsers. Okay na? Suppose one Mozilla browser and one Chrome browser, one Internet Explorer browser or Mozilla Firefox browser. Getting this requirement?
Yes, sir.
Check communication between different browsers. Earlier we handled multiple browsers, but same browsers, same Mozilla Firefox. This time different browsers. Any confusion, Rahman? Did you understand or not?
No, sir. Yes, I understand.
Observe Tushar, I mean, my steps. Some disturbance coming. Put mute, I mean, Tushar, I mean, mute. Okay. Madhavi, observe my test steps. See, in this test case, we are going to check capabilities of Selenium WebDriver. Okay. Create Mozilla Firefox browser. Create Mozilla Firefox browser. Google Chrome browser and IE browser. Okay, now this step, Madhavi. Create three drivers. Just a minute. Firefox driver. Next, Chrome driver and IE driver. Okay, now this step, Madhavi.
Yes, sir.
Create 3 browser drivers. Mozilla Firefox, Google Chrome, Internet Explorer. Next, launch 3 different applications. 3 different applications. Next, interact from one application to another. Interact from here Java features support required. Communication. Java features means programming features. Interact from one application to another. Next, close all browsers one by one. Close all browsers one by one. This is my requirement, Madhavi. Write Selenium test script or test case. Just a minute, I will create new class, new program. New class. On different browsers. Main method. Continue, Madhavi. Now first create Mozilla Firefox driver.
WebDriver.
Just a minute. WebDriver. Suppose.
New Firefox driver.
Suppose Firefox driver equal to new.
WebDriver driver, right, sir?
Driver is depends on user. You can use ABCD also.
Yeah.
You can use Kamala also. No issue. That is user defined. Okay. But we use a driver. Why? That is meaningful name, best practice.
Yes, sir.
Firefox. You can use any value. Firefox driver.
Import WebDriver and Firefox driver.
Just a minute. Import WebDriver. Import Firefox browser driver. First step over. Next, just a minute. I want to launch Google homepage using this Firefox driver. Launch Google. .get.
Sorry.
Just a minute.
Google.
To take this URL. Okay. After getting, I want to click on Gmail link in this home page. Just a minute. Click Gmail. See, launch Google home page using Mozilla Firefox driver. Click Gmail link. Okay. Firefox driver.
Element.
Dot find element. By dot link text. Link text.
Gmail.
Gmail.
Click.
Gmail. Dot click operation. Okay. Next, you leave that browser. Leave that one. Next, create Chrome browser. Chrome browser.
System dot set
First,
property.
we need to instantiate Chrome driver na. System
dot set property.
Dot. Just a minute. System dot set property.
Parenthesis. WebDriver.
WebDriver. You need to remember this syntax. WebDriver
dot
Chrome dot driver. Chrome dot driver. Close double quotes. Next, value path of the browser driver. See, in my machine, that browser driver available in E drive. Observe. Chrome driver. IE driver also in E drive. Just remember. Chrome. Chrome. Avoid the disturbance. Chrome driver dot exe. Semicolon. Next, create Chrome browser. We
have to create the driver object, right, sir?
Driver object. Suppose WebDriver.
Chrome driver.
Otherwise, you can use a driver 1, driver 2, driver 3 also, but use meaningful names. Chrome driver equal to new Chrome driver. Okay. Import Chrome driver. Okay. Here we are not using any condition, any static variable, just plain navigation. Next, in this Chrome driver, observe. Okay. Before that, you create IE driver also.
System.set property.
System.set property WebDriver dot IE driver. Next, IE
driver server.
Driver server. Okay. Next,
Internet Explorer driver.
Suppose IE driver new Internet Explorer driver. Just a minute. Import Internet Explorer driver. Okay. 3. Next, observe Madhavi. I want to capture this value, this text area, sign in to continue to Gmail. This is available in Mozilla Firefox browser. Next, I want to place that value. Just a minute. Here, registration page. Click create. In this first name, in Chrome browser. Did you understand my requirement?
Yes, sir.
Say in Mozilla Firefox browser, Gmail opened. Suppose Chrome, in this Chrome, we are going to open this GCR shop web portal. Just a minute. Driver dot get driver, not driver, Chrome driver. Chrome driver dot get just you take that value. Okay. Next, IE also you launch one application. First individual IE driver dot get suppose Yahoo. Next, closing. We will do close. First, run this program. Observe. Mozilla Firefox browser, Gmail. Next, Chrome browser, gcrit.com. Next, Internet Explorer, Yahoo. Okay na, Madhavi?
Yes, sir.
Next, observe. I want to capture this value, text area, or any other value from first browser and place this Chrome browser first name field. This is my requirement. Guide me. See, these are not errors. Launching details. See, first for Mozilla, no details. Chrome driver. Next, Internet Explorer driver. Okay. Guide me, Madhavi. Kamala, continue. Kamala.
WebDriver.
Firefox driver. I want to capture the data. Firefox driver dot find element by dot just a minute. By dot, what is this one? Locator
sign class hidden.
Class is there, otherwise try to use XPath. Just a minute. By dot XPath
value
of XPath value dot
send.
We are capturing the value. First of all, string required. Capturing the value. String, suppose text
name
equal to dot get text.
Get text.
Okay. Now communication between these two browsers. Programming feature, Java feature. Okay, programming feature. Next, enter that value into this Chrome driver dot find element. Just a minute. Find element. Click this create an account page. Here I want to enter the data into this first name field. First name. Name, first name. By dot name, first name dot continue, Kamala, dot
send keys.
Good. Send keys. Continue, Rahman. Send keys. Text. You enter that string. Okay. Next, check that one. Run the program. Observe, Rahman.
Sir.
Value entered na. Capture that value from Gmail application and entered to this Chrome na.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you can write close statements also. Close statements. Just a minute here. Preeti, understand this concept? Any confusion?
Yes, sir. No, sir. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Say. Next, close all browsers one by one. Close all browsers one by one. Observe here. First portion, Mozilla. Middle portion of the code, Chrome. Last portion, IE. Next, close drivers one by one. First, Firefox driver, sequence not required, dot close. Next, Chrome driver, dot close. Next, IE driver, dot close. Run the program. Observe data entered. After 3 seconds, it will close. Closed. All browsers closed. Okay, na Tushar Amin?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Madhavi, any queries?
No, sir.
Okay, I'm going to close today's session. Any queries, Srivalli? Srivalli.
No, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Welcome.
Excuse me, sir.
Ah.
I have a doubt, but not related to this today's topic. I couldn't find XPath in Internet Explorer browser.
Okay, you send that email and I will send the details.
Okay, sir.
You ask relevant queries only. Tushar Amin.
Yes, sir.
Preeti, I'm going to close the session. Any queries, Preeti?
Bye, sir.
No, sir. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thank you. Bye, sir.
Welcome. Rahman.
I'm fine. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Good day.
Welcome to all.